we talked about what you want to do and get if you want to start embroidering your bare bones starter kit. But you've done that, and now you want to take your embroidery to the next level. Let's talk about what you can do then. One simple way to add some sparkle and shine to your embroidery is through the threads that you use. So these are both by Wonderfil Specialty Threads. This is a rayon blend, and this is a metallic blend. Now, if you've embroidered in the past, you might think of a metallic thread and feel instantly frustrated because metallic thread can be a little tricky to stitch with. It can easily get tangled, which is super frustrating. I can say with 100% recommendation that I definitely use these metallic threads, love them, have no problems with the tangles, have no problem threading them at all. So these are Razzle and Dazzle. I always forget which one. Okay, so the rayon one is Razzle and the metallic one is Dazzle. These are Wonder Guards that Wonderfil makes because you can see that the thread kind of wants to unravel. So this is just a vinyl piece that slips around the threads and hold it in place so you can store it easily. But both of these threads are really excellent to stitch with. They are the weight of maybe a size 5 pearl cotton. So they have a nice thickness to them. This one I haven't used yet, but I've used the other colors. And you can see this one is really shiny. So when you're stitching with it, the shine really pops on your embroidery. So these are 2 threads I definitely recommend trying. If you've already tried the other embroidery threads that I mentioned and you just want to take your embroidery to the next level. This is thread from the Threadgatherer. It is a silk mohair nylon blend of threads. It is so beautiful to work with. It is about the thickness of probably 6 strands if you're using like a 6-stranded floss. So it would be all 6 strands. It's about that thick, or maybe a size 3 pearl cotton. Very easy to work with. It works up. I used it right here. I used this color actually, which is the Antique Roses. So it has little bits of metallic throughout it. Plus you have the beautiful fibery, which I love when little fibers show through on my embroidery. So this, I highly recommend it. Very easy to stitch with. It goes a long way, and it's great for woven stitches where you're able to keep the majority of thread above the fabric. You can see not much goes underneath of there. This is a, I think this is the woven spider web wheel, or one of the woven wheel stitches. So really good for some of the woven stitches where the thread is not going up and down through your fabric a lot, but it's just staying on top of the fabric. And then one more variety from the Threadgatherer that I love. This is the Silken Colors mix. So this is 100% silk. It is beautiful to work with. Here, this one I haven't undone yet. So this is how it comes when you get it. And then this one I have worked with before. And let me find the end. Let's see. Here we go. So this is one that you can use the full strand just like this. Or you could separate it if you want to. And it separates out into several. It's definitely more than 6. I feel like it might be 12 strands of thread. It's a thicker thread. I would compare this to a size 3 pearl cotton. It threads a needle very easily. It works through fabric very easily. I have lots of little ends that I save. It's just such a beautiful thread to work with, and comes in a variety of really pretty colors. This is a hand dyed thread. And it usually, if you need like a lot, you'd want to make sure, just like yarn for a project, you'd buy several skeins from the same dye lot. But if you don't, if that doesn't matter to you, you can just get a variety of skeins to add to your work. So this is the Threadgatherer Silken Colors. You'll notice in this piece, I have a lot of ribbon, trim, little ribbons there. And so the next supply that I recommend is ribbon. It's gonna fall into place here. So this is my bin of super pretty decorative ribbons. If you know Tula Pink fabrics or Anna Maria Horner fabrics, you'll recognize a lot of these really pretty ribbons. I think they look pretty just in the box, but they're really good to use in your embroidery too. So I find these from Renaissance Ribbons, and I will put all the links to everything that I mention in the description of the video below. But you can also just use regular ribbon. These are ribbons I just picked up at Joann. And I haven't used these yet, but they're really nice to work with. You can add them, let's see, in this piece here, I have them tucked into little sections of it with beads. So they're fun, different dimensional objects or fibers that you can use. And ribbon is not super expensive, so you can pick up a few colors to have on hand for when you want to add a little bit to your embroidery. So in this piece, I'll try and hold it by the side so you can see, I have added small felt circles. So I have stacks of beads, and then on top of the stacks of beads, I have felt circles. So this is where I've gotten them from. These are pre-cut circles, again from Wonderful Specialty Threads. I absolutely love using these in my embroidery. It is so much fun to layer these with beads, with sequins. So they come in several different sizes. Here I have the 7/8 circles. Here are the 1/2 inch circles, the 3/8 circles, and you can see the variety of colors they come in. Each color comes in all of the sizes. So if you wanted to just work on one color palette, you could do that with all the different sizes. They are also really easy to cut apart. So when you get them, you will have a strip like this. And then all you need to do, I'll grab my little scissors, is just snip the circles apart. Just like that, and you have a perfect circle. So I find these are really time saving. I like to keep them near my embroidery supplies so that I can just add little pieces of them to my embroidery. You can see in this piece, I also layered them flatter, just under a sequin and bead, and I mixed in some larger stacked sequins and beads too. So I like the variety of textures that it can give to your embroidery project. So I can't make an embroidery video without talking about beads. So I love to play with larger beads to create extra dimension to the piece. So you can see, it's tricky to show you, but if you hold it from the side, there's a lot of dimension here, a lot that just pops off of the embroidery hoop. So you can find strands of beads at your craft store. If you have a bead shop nearby, definitely check there. We have a few, not as many bead shops as I wish we had around where I am, but I always check there. Joann, Michaels, they always have bead walls where you can just check the decorative beads that they have. So these are some that I've been working with recently, and these are from a Glass Garden collection by John Bead. And what's really fun about these is, let me show you, these are shaped like little petals. So you can have several varieties of the petal shaped beads to create little floral pieces like this. And if that feels like too much, you can also just get a strand of floral beads with the flowers on them, and you could just create little stacks yourself. And if that feels like too much, all you need are just some pretty shiny beads to tuck here and there on your project, just like I did at the end of my feather stitch here, just to add a little shine to the piece. So strands of beads, fun to collect. I love these little mushrooms. And I like to just, anything that catches my eye, I'll keep in my stash so that I have something to pull out later for a project. these beads are not just for making your Taylor Swift friendship bracelets. They're also really good for adding to your embroidery. So again, looking at this one, I have stacked several of these beads right here, and then with a little floral bead on top and a little seed bead on the inside. These are super lightweight and they come in so many colors. These are packs that I found on Amazon because my local craft stores were out of them, probably because of all of the era's friendship bracelet making people. So I had to get a big stock of them on Amazon. But I love all of the colors that I have, and you can just stack little colors with your sequins, with your beads, even with your wool circles, to create a nice stack of dimension and color on your embroidery. So I absolutely love having these because they are lightweight. They don't make your hoop super heavy. And they have, which again, if you're doing a lot of beading, your hoop will get heavy. You'll notice that. But I just like to add lots of color and stacks of beads to my projects. So we talked all about embroidery hoops in our bare bones embroidery video. This is a next level sort of embroidery hoop. This is from French General. It's a French embroidery hoop, 6 inches, very pretty. Just the packaging, everything for this one is a very pretty hoop. And this is fabric that I have. This is new from Alexander Henry. This is the Gasleys. I love this arrogant little lady. So for this hoop, it separates just like this. And I'm going to show you how you can put it on fabric. So I'm just going to open up my fabric, slip it under. Now for this hoop, because I'd want to get all of her, I would want a larger size, but I'm just using this one to show you how to use this hoop. So my metal bottom part of the hoop is under here. I'm just going to take this and scrunch it around and start pulling it tight. Now don't worry about your fabric. You can see it's like wrinkling kind of weird right now. Don't worry about that, because when you're done, you can just pull it tight, just like you would tighten your fabric in a wood embroidery hoop. And you can see it's tightening really nice. This looks super cool if you are keeping your embroidery hoop in, like your embroidery project in a hoop, which is what I do with a lot of mine. The edge of this one is just really pretty and makes it look different than an embroidery hoop. So you could stitch it directly in this and then keep it in your hoop and display it that way. It even has a nice little ring to hang it by. So again, this is the French General French embroidery hoop, and this is the 6-inch size. And now for my shameless plug. You can learn how to use more about those embroidery supplies that I talked about in all 3 of my books, Boho Embroidery, the first one, the second one, and then my upcoming book, Needles Out, which is available for pre-order. So I hope you enjoyed this look into the next steps of things you can use in your embroidery. Stay tuned for the deep cuts.